What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine, Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.
This is going to be an awesome sit-down conversation. Let's talk about freedom. Let's talk about liberty. It's what we're all about here. And to my right, we have my partner. And oh my God, this guy's changed my life, Bitcoin Ben. And this gentleman speaks so deep from his soul that he can rattle you, because he can make you go back in time. I mean, I'm talking time in the 1800s or whatever. And he can lay it out and let everybody know what is happening to our country. These clubs that we've put together, we're here for the everyday person in these little towns across the country. If people like Ben, myself, and everybody, all these organizations that we've put up around the country, we need to stand up, and we just need to be teaching people what is right and what is wrong. We have to have common ground again. There can't be extreme right or extreme left. Let's come to the middle and let's have a conversation. Ben, please take over and let's have a conversation.
I love you, Eddie. Can everyone hear? All right, good. Well, thank you, Ed. I love you too, brother. Yeah. We are at a very, very serious point in our history, because we've reached an end of an old system. The old is no longer working for us because it wasn't rolled out to truly help us. The liberals, and not the classic liberal, the new left, and the progressives, that's the issue. We have to realize what we're up against. We are up against a system that was launched a few years after the Civil War. We actually think, oh, this is kind of new, you know? Why is everything going crazy? What's wrong with our money? What's wrong with our politics? What's wrong with our people? What's wrong with our youth? Not knowing for about 145 years, we've had a group that came here with the actual purpose of bringing down our Constitution and our way of life. This is a long plan They originally took over all of our universities. They've had them since pre-World War II. And they have worked their way into the education system, the war system, all of the military complex. We were warned. Eisenhower warned us. Watch out for the military industrial complex. That's what everyone remembers. But he actually mentioned the education industrial complex,
Yes.
the health industrial complex. He warned us about all of this because he and a few other very amazing Americans were warning people. If you guys have a little bit of time, look up one person named Goldwater. A lot of people don't even know who the hell he is or was. He was basically Trump in the 1940s, late 1940s, all through the 50s into the 60s. And he was their Trump. And then we had JFK, who was another Trump. Then we had Richard Nixon, which was another Trump. Then we had Ronald Reagan, and once they shot him, his wife kind of convinced him, you don't need to be so conservative. And now we have Trump. And we, as the people, we cannot just head out, I'm going to vote for Trump or I'm going to vote for John, and then just completely forget about it. That's not where we're at. We need action with the people. We can't rely on Trump. We can't rely on John. We can't rely on elected officials and go, okay, go fix it. Because unless we have we help them, they have no power in Washington if Washington doesn't actually see a large group behind them. Because if he heads to Washington, D.C., and they're like, well, he doesn't have that much support, and all of his support's kind of, they showed up to vote, but then they went away. He has no power. That's when, if he sends out a text and actually says, hey, I need you to call this number and say this. You have to call that number and say this. You have to actually get involved with the legislators. They're representatives. They represent you. That doesn't mean every few years you go out and you vote and you're done. No. You have to call up his office or whoever, the White House or whoever, and you have to get involved, because I'm telling you right now, guys, and please believe me when I say this, we got 3 years to really make some ground. Because if we don't, I am afraid that we lose our republic and we lose a lot of freedoms. We have already seen the left will arrest Trump. They will arrest his lawyers. They will arrest anyone who is friends with him, anyone who's associated with him, because they know he's actually for the people, just like John. And I keep on pointing to John, and everyone watching right now, like, who the hell is this John? Who's this John you speak of, Ben?
We'll have him up here shortly, right?
Yes. I really, and that's why I'm on tour. I live in an RV, literally. I live in an RV because I'm hitting club after club after club after club after club, hitting Washington, D.C. I have friends in Washington, D.C. now who I go there and I talk to, and I give them money and I help them as much as I can. Because if we do not right this ship, we're the Titanic. We're halfway down now. And we need a new ship, because this system was created to sink. So when it sank, they could drop us all off at an island. And that island is a prison. That's what socialism is. That's what communism is. And the left is socialist. They may not wear the little tag and all that like the guy up in New York who just won, but they are socialist. They are progressives, which just means a very patient socialist. That's what a progressive is. They progressively change the system. And that's where we're at. And we're at the point with our money. We owe 38 trillion dollars. Every 63 days, we actually go into $1 trillion more worth of debt. Every 63 days. As of January of this year, it was every 100 days. Now it's only 63 days. Do you know what that is? That is Weimar Republic. Because as it gets worse, it goes faster. And it goes faster because it's accumulating, compounding debt. That means in about 7 months, it's only going to take a month and maybe a week, just like 5 weeks, and we'll owe another $1 trillion. Then another 4 weeks, then another 3 weeks, then another 2 weeks, then every week. Hopefully it doesn't get this bad, but in Weimar Republic, in Venezuela, that's what happens with inflation. And that's why I am involved in Bitcoin, because it is the lifeboat that we can all jump on while the Titanic's going down, because it's going down. We need a new ship. And that's what Trump and John and a lot of the Republicans up in Washington, that's what they're trying to do, is actually build a new ship. And it's a ship we recognize, because a lot of what they're changing is what we originally had in our country. We never had tax on our labor until 1913. I mean, prior to that, what was it? Tariffs. And everyone's freaking out about tariffs because they know that that system works. And it's a legitimate and constitutional way for the government to raise capital, and it limits the size of the government. All right, I'm going to let you introduce our wonderful guest.
Yeah, so we're blessed here with a gentleman who is running up against our old Senator Ed Markey, and we got John Deaton in the house, and we want to have him come up here and kind of speak with Ben for a while. Give a hand for John Deaton. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, John, number one, you're a brave man. And I'm not joking when I say that. You are a brave man to volunteer to go to the swamp.
Yes. Unfortunately, listen, I said in my announcement speech, I'm not a young man, as you can see, any longer. But Ed Markey's first year in Washington, I was 9. He's been there for 50 years. Just to put it in perspective, tickets at Fenway were $1.25. Gasoline was 59 cents a gallon, and Harvard tuition, room and board, $5,000 a year.
That's
Right.
inflation.
Right. And so, right. So, career politicians like him have really stolen the prosperity of young people by their absolute addiction to printing money that just doesn't exist. And now we're at $38 trillion in debt, and it's a real issue. And so I wouldn't be running again unless there was a real path to victory. Last year, when I ran against Elizabeth Warren, it was February of the same year. And I just, when we go to vote, how many here you go to vote and you'll see unopposed Democrat, unopposed, it's demoralizing. And so the thought of her just not being opposed, not staying on the stage and being asked, confronted in any way, it bothered me. So I knew the chances. I've been a lawyer here for 25 years, but no one knew who I was. So as a no-name candidate, I knew what my chances were, but I was the first Republican to get over 40% in like 30 years. And I got 1.3 million votes. Thank you. If in the midterm, so November of 2026, the average turnout is 2.4 million voters. So if everyone who voted for me last time shows up and votes again, I win, because that's more than half, at 1.3. So also, because of that success, and because of the White House is on board, and a couple others, this next week I may get the endorsement from the Mass GOP, which could mean no primary. So while Ed Markey and Moulton and maybe even Anna Presley are beating each other up, moving so far left, I put in a video of Ed Markey debating Joe Kennedy 5 years ago, and you just sit there and shake your head. They were arguing over who was more pro-Black Lives Matter, pro-reparations, open borders, not just amnesty, but citizenship for 20 million illegals, biological boys competing against women, or biological men competing against women, just so far left. And so while they're doing that, I'll be able to reach the 64% independents here in Massachusetts, and maybe even disenfranchised Democrats. Crypto and Bitcoin, about 1.2 million people own crypto in Massachusetts. Ed Markey's against it. He's for the old traditional banking system. So I just want you to know we got a real shot at getting a seat at the table, because we don't have any. Every statewide office in Massachusetts, so governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, treasurer, auditor, attorney general, all Democrats. All 9 houses of the representatives, all 9 Democrats. Both U.S. senators, Democrats, and some of them are so far left. And so finally, we may have a real shot at getting a seat at the table and restoring some common sense in this state.
Yeah, I really think you do, because now you have to remember, you're up here in Massachusetts. I have close friends in Florida who love you. I mean, absolutely love him. It's like, oh, hey, he's going to run. All right, let's go. And sorry guys, we're safe in Florida. We're like, ooh, Florida soon, no property tax,
Right.
And, but it's because we finally have a person up here who really has a chance. And I honestly think you're going to win, because everyone up here is one thing. They are good people. And even people on the left, a lot of them are just really good people who are very busy. Right. They're living their lives. They have 1 job or 2 jobs or 3 jobs. They can't really pay attention, And I think they're starting to recognize that the left has gone absolutely unhinged.
Right.
And even a person who is more liberal is going to look at that and go, that doesn't make any sense.
No, listen, I think they've went so far left that they've offended center left people, right?
Yes.
I'm a center right person, but there's people that would call themselves center left. You know, Maura Healey just appointed one of the most like very limited spots, and it's a commission that really advocates for women's rights and for women in Massachusetts. And she just appointed a biological male, you know, who identifies as a woman. And, you know, I'm a father of daughters. That's a slap in the face of every woman, you know, that you would do that. One of these coveted spots that are supposed to protect women and women's rights and all these things. And you give it to the, you know, a person who's a biological male.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the point being is that they've just went so far left. And I'm hoping, and Ed talked about this division. I'm hoping people realize, honestly, that the people that are in power, like Ed Markey, he's 80 years old. He's been in Washington 50 years. Why does he want to stay there? Right? 50 years, because the swamp becomes a lifestyle to them, right? And they become addicted to that lifestyle. And they push division and they push hatred. They want you to say that there's two sides and the other side doesn't love America, is a threat to democracy, a threat to our constitutional republic. And I just want to remind people that you have more in common with your neighbor who voted differently than you did maybe in the presidential election than you do these elites, than you do these career politicians. You worry about the energy prices that you're seeing on your natural gas or your electricity bill, the housing, inflation, groceries. You're worried about saving for retirement, funding education. Maybe you'll get to take a vacation, and will you have enough money? You worry about the same things. These career politicians, they don't worry about that, and they push that. And I'm just hoping people that you're describing, and I agree with you, who are busy, that they wake up and they pay attention, because as I pointed out, these are indisputable facts. Massachusetts is dead last, 50 out of 50 in housing affordability. We are the most expensive for childcare. We pay nearly double in electricity prices of people across the country. We pay 75% more in energy, so natural gas bills. Groceries are 20, 30% higher, and we're dead last in job growth. And so that's the formula we have. And I can tell you, in the last 3 years, 200,000 workers have left Massachusetts in the prime of their working life because they can't afford that. And in that 3-year period, while we've lost 200,000 workers, we've taken in tens of thousands of illegal migrants. We have 1.1 million people on food stamps now. That's almost 16%.
Whoa.
In 2 years, it will be, yes, in Massachusetts, 1.1 million. In 2 years, it will be 1 out of every 5 Massachusetts resident will be on food stamps. And that's not a recipe that's a recipe for bankruptcy. And look what they're doing. What's their solution? This one party rule: raise taxes, right? So they want to raise, you know, the candy tax, the prescription tax, excise tax. They put a new surcharge on the car tax, which really is they're taxing the taxes, right? It's just insane. And so I'm hoping with you that we're going to be able to reach enough of those folks to say, listen, you have to change, right? We are Massachusetts, the cradle of liberty. It's the birthplace of freedom.
Yes.
And we are downhill pretty fast. And so hopefully, if we don't change our electricity prices, or if we don't change course, you're going to see a 200% increase over 5 years because of the demand for electricity that AI and data centers are having. And they won't even consider nuclear, which is today's nuclear power is 95% efficient, carbon free, and they won't even consider it. And they ban the natural gas pipelines. We have a housing problem. It takes 2 years to pull permits to try to even build a house. And then they won't, the alternative energy mandates, you got to be electric. You can't tie into natural gas. makes it unaffordable. You can't even build affordable housing now. So I'm hoping that, you know, unfortunately it's so bad that people wake up and say we need change.
Yeah, boy, John, I feel sorry for you.
But we got a shot. Like there's polling
no.
that even shows that we did some polling that shows I edge out Ed Markey, and we got a year to reach those people. So I believe we can do it. I'll work my butt off, but I do need, you know, help. What you said is true, and I said this when I announced. We got to go old school. We got to knock on every door, not just the folks who agree with us. You know, listen to the mom worried about rent, the dad tired of energy prices, the worker tired of seeing his job. Knock on them, get them activated, let them know that they can make it change. They can effectuate change if they get involved.
Yeah, it's really, we love you, John, but we can't rely on you. All right. And what I mean when I say that is you in Washington helps a ton, and we need to get you there. But you all who live here, it's your job to change your home, where you live. This is your land. A lot of you have hundreds of years of well, my grandfather came over here in 1805. You know, there's a lot of families like that. And I'm here to tell you, we have to remember who we are. We're Americans, and Americans take care of our business. It's your guys' job to actually get him elected. It's his job to head to Washington once he's elected, but only you guys can actually get him that flight there. And I highly recommend you and your friends every weekend, or at least right now, once every single few weekends or something, head out and knock on doors. Hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. I live down the road here. You know me. We went to high school together. Hey, I'd like to have a conversation, and we'll hold an event here where you can have all your friends go, hey, you guys want some free food? Come on down. We'll hang out over at this club. They got good food. They got a microphone. They got a guy, kind of got this crazy guy with a speech impediment, but don't mind him. Good food. But
you're doing pretty good.
Well, I'm trying.
For a speech impediment, you do pretty well, brother.
Oh, thank you. How, because I know you're rolling here, how can everyone here help you? And how can everyone watching right now, how can we help you?
Well, the first thing, obviously, if you could donate at John Deaton for Senate, whether it's $5 or whatever you can, it helps. You got to raise money to get the message out. Campaigns come down to three things. It comes down to money, message, and work ethic. I promise you that they'll never outwork me. That I can guarantee you. The message is on point. And so if I can raise enough money, if you can't, or you can do that and volunteer at johndeatonforsenate.com. You can volunteer to do door knocking, phone calls, get the sign, put a sign out on I'm excited because we're gonna, if I get to avoid the primary, it's a game changer, because in Massachusetts, the primary is so late. It's September. So if you win the primary, like I did last time, you only have 2 months to now go against the main opponent in the other side. But you spent your entire time trying to convince conservatives and Republicans that, like, listen, I'm the guy. Trust me, I'm the guy. And so I won that. But since I won it last time, now people know me. If I can avoid that, I'm going to have a bus. You're going to see me doing barbershop tours all across I know barbershop, right? But but I'll get a lot of maintenance on this is what's going to happen, right? By the time the tour is over, I'll probably be clean shaven. But bakery tour, small business tour. You'll see me places you don't see politicians. I'll be in urban areas. I'll be on the T interviewing regular folks, young people who are disenfranchised. where, you know, they're turning to capitalism. I mean, they're rejecting capitalism, turning to socialism. And I tell everybody, listen, I represent people who got mesothelioma and lung cancer as a lawyer. When you have cancer, if a charismatic doctor comes along and says, I can fix that cancer, I can cure you, you're right. You're going to be like, please, please, please. So if you're having a hard time just paying your bills, and this charismatic fella comes along or gal and says, I'm going to give you free busing, you're like, wow, that's going to save me like $200, $150 a month right off the bat, maybe. And your rent's never going up again. And I'm going to put grocery stores, and you're going to get it at cost. So your grocery bill is now going to go down 30% immediately. People are going to gravitate to that. And it really is because young people, because of inflation, because of these prices. I mean, how many of you go to the grocery store and you get shocked at how expensive it is? You go out to eat, like go to Cheesecake Factory with 3 kids and 2 adults.
We were just there, in my eye, because when I head out, I buy.
Right.
I looked at the bill and I'm like, wait, is this really the Cheesecake Factory?
No, I know. And there was someone on who has like a little, sort of like a taco stand. And she's like, I may have to go out of business. She goes, I can't charge people $25 for 2 tacos and some rice and beans. She goes, but that's what I have to charge them.
Yep.
And people are being shocked. And so it's because of these career politicians who have just recklessly spent money they didn't have, print money. I mean, we've been operating at $2 trillion a year in the deficit. And I just want you to know how big that is. People get shocked when I say to them, do you know how big 1 trillion is? It's not an exaggeration. You could stack $1 bills from here to the sun and be on your way back. 1 trillion seconds. How many years? 34,000 years. $1 million a day, every day since Jesus Christ was crucified from that historical date does not come to 1 trillion. And we've been operating at $2 trillion deficits every year after year after year till we get to 38 trillion. You're going to experience hyperinflation. You're going to experience this price shock. And so that's why, you know, like Elizabeth Warren, Ed Markey, they wanted to ban Bitcoin. Elizabeth Warren's bill banned self-custody of Bitcoin. And it's because, and I say people are looking at that as a way of just trying to build wealth, almost like their new American dream. When I was a kid, American dream was you could buy a house. Maybe you get a vacation home. Maybe you own a rental property and you're participating in building wealth. Well, who the hell can afford a house? The average home price in Massachusetts, statewide, $675,000. Statewide. Greater Boston area, 1.1 million. Like, who can afford that? You have to make $250,000 a year to literally break even.
Whoa. I live in Florida, and nothing against you guys. We don't get cold. All right. Florida is nowhere near that. That's amazing.
No, and young people have been priced out of the economy, priced out of the American dream in many ways. And so I understand why some people are turning to the socialism, because it's never going to work, right? We know public grocery stores by the government, they've tried. It doesn't work. We know that it's never going to work. Yeah. But I understand why people are kind of seduced by this thought that my life's going to get more affordable.
Yeah, and it's also they're worried. They're like, what am I going to do? I'm having a hard time getting a job. It doesn't pay that much. I can't. They're out in the ocean of, oh no, looking for anything they can grab onto. And a socialist will say, hey, here, I'll give you this, and it will hold you up.
Right.
Well, what they're really giving you is an anchor. It just looks like a floaty. And we can help them realize we don't have to live like this. We live like this because of the system. This is not your fault. This is not your fault. This is a lot of very wealthy corporations and politicians. And you asked, why would an 80-year-old person, why wouldn't he retire? Because what I've learned, because I have friends in Washington, D.C. now, is they can't retire. They are so relied upon from so many people that they're like, look, we've been helping you out for 40 years. You can't, and it's a bad example, is if they have a reliable vote and they know, hey, he's in our pocket,
Right.
He will make a vote every time, and he's like, look, I'm 80, I think I'm going to retire. And especially right now, they're like, the hell you are.
Right.
You ain't going nowhere, old man. We own you.
No, you're right.
Remember your son who works for Joe over here, that we got him his job? Yeah, your son will be fired. What about your friend over here? What about this? What about that? It's because he doesn't want to really be there.
Well, I can tell you too. I know what the plan is on their side. You know how on the left they normally coronate someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
They try to coronate Hillary Clinton, and then they didn't even have a primary for Kamala, right? They just said you're up. Well, I know the plan. The plan is that Ed Markey, because Elizabeth Warren immediately endorsed him, and so did others. They think Maura Healey will win. Right, they're betting on that for governor, and then 4 years from now, at 84 years old, Ed Markey will say, "Okay, for health reasons or something, I retire." And if Maura Healey is the governor, she will pick the next one, which will be Michelle Wu, to become a U.S. senator, who will then get to be the incumbent for 200 days until there's a special election due to the retirement. That's the plan. I'm trying to be the biggest monkey wrench in that plan as you can ever imagine, so that we get an independent voice. But that's what's happening.
On your website, do you accept Bitcoin?
Yes.
Everyone watching right now who owns some Bitcoin, send him some Bitcoin. And I'm going to talk with my friends in Florida. And I'm going to say, I know all you rich son of a bitches got an extra friggin' Bitcoin to throw. Because
they could throw it my way to the campaign. It's going to the campaign, not me.
Yeah, and I will encourage them, because me and my friends in Florida, and I got friends all over the world, but I mostly hear from people in Florida. We want to use you as an example and say, look, if we help these guys and gals, we can win.
We can.
Let's lift him up. Let's give him the tools he needs, and let's get him elected. So we help you throw that wrench into the whole machine of their plan, because their plan is not to help you. Their plan, like it's always been, they are a leech on you guys. I was at Washington, D.C. about a week and a half ago, and I was so mad. You know why? Because Washington, D.C. is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. The place is just amazing. They got high-rise and buildings and lawyer office and restaurants. Guess what? They don't produce anything. There's not a factory. There's not a farm. Where'd that money come from? It came from your grandfather, your dad, and you. Generational wealth swept into Washington, D.C., and they've got a nice place to live. While we're out here just trying to get by, they're living high on the. I was at a restaurant, Capitol Hill, Capitol Grill.
Right.
You want to talk about expensive?
No.
I also paid that tab. but everyone in there smiling and, hey, yeah, we're good times. And I wanted to walk up and slap half these people. Because I'm like, oh, you guys eating good? Yeah, you enjoying yourselves? Well, how about the plumber who's probably working 16 hours right now while we're all having our little drinks and our steaks and stuff? He's out there sweating it so his kid who's 23 can live with him. It's sad what has happened to our people. It is pitiful. We don't deserve this. My grandfather, my dad worked their ass off. They both just were good people. And all of you are just good people. You're a good person and you're putting up the fight. And we should all be thanking you because you're the one who is like, all right, guys, I'm going into the snake bin. I'll see you guys later. Hope I make it. Because a lot of people wouldn't. But you're doing that. And everyone listening to my voice need to realize we need to support people like John. Because without our support, it only gets worse. Unless we send a wrench into the machine is going to eat your children, your grandchildren, your lineage. So let's help him get elected so we can turn the ship around so you can look at your son, your grandchild, and tell him your life will be better than mine. Because we said no and we sent John up there. And that's all I got to say about
Well, thank you. Listen, you can't fake that passion and that authenticity, Ben. I love you, brother.
Oh.
And trust me, that motivates someone like me. I'm already going to work as hard as I can. But when you meet people, regular people with that kind of fire in their belly for their country, for their fellow American, it just makes you want to work even harder. So thank you. I appreciate it.
No, brother, thank you. All right, you have to run. Everyone, please give him a round of applause.
Thank you, John. You've
Kleenex.
touched everybody, Ben. Ben. Love you, brother.
I love you.
Yeah, I know you got passion too, right? We have a gentleman here tonight that we're going to have come up and talk with Ben. His name is Stephen Harper. He's a farmer. I don't know all the lineage, but I knew his grandfather. I knew his father. And I'm not sure how far it even goes back from there. But, you know, the farmers in this country are just being devastated. And we need to be able to keep these farms going. You know, we're getting poisoned by all these, you know, Monsanto,
Yeah.
right? You know, all these, you know, GMO products, you know, they're killing us in our food. And so please help me welcome Stephen Harper up here. He's going to have a little conversation with Ben.
Unless he ran away.
Steve here.
No.
Hey, can you see if Steve's out there?
All right. Until we get a hold of our buddy Steve, the reason that we actually want to bring him up is because we need more like him. We need more like him. He works the field. Without them, we got no food. Now, mind you, we might have something to eat, but it's not going to be real food. It's going exactly like you said. It is actually going to be whatever you get really cheap at Walmart. Because if you've looked at If you've looked at what's in our food, if you can't pronounce it, it's not good for you. Right? That's where we're at. And unfortunately, what happened? Did he leave?
Lorraine, do you know where Stephen is? Oh, okay, great.
Oh,
So
like,
we'll
hey,
we'll
yeah.
keep it going.
Yeah, it's and just like you said, he's a generational person. His grandfather worked the land.
Yep.
His dad worked the land. He's working the land. And he said right over there, our number one enemy is the government.
Yep.
You know it's bad when the guy who grows your food is being attacked by the government. Oh, let me see if I can think back. Who else in history went after the farmers? Oh, that's right. Chairman Mao and Stalin and Hitler. Gee, I'm starting to see a trend here. Because if you control the food, you control the people. It's exactly like money, because each of it represents a value.
Yep.
When you eat, you are consuming valuable nutrients that's held in that food that you use to move around and live.
Right.
It's exactly like your money. If you hold US dollar, this is $100 bill. In 1 year, this will be worth $90. In 1 year. All right. Just in this, in 2000 and let's see, what was it? 19. If you had $100 in 2019, right now it's worth $63. That's not that long ago. All right, now let me give you the reverse example. In 2019, Bitcoin's low was, I think, like $18,000 in 2019. I think it was like 18,000.
Yeah, I thought it went
Yeah.
15 or yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. Right. So while this lost about 40 something %, the actual crypto that I love the best, which is Bitcoin, that went up from about $12,000 or $13,000 to almost $100,000 right now. This lost value, that gained value. This is a dying system. That's a living and growing system. Right now, if you have a 401k or a retirement plan or something like that, and you earn about 6, maybe 8% each year, you're losing money. It isn't keeping it, because like I told you, this $100 in 1 year is worth $90. If you hold a 401k, you'll only make about 6 to 8%. If you're losing 10% each year, but you're making 8, you are still still losing 2%. So, well, you look over and you're like, oh, my 401k's up. Your dollar's down. So as you sell it, you're receiving valueless dollars that are losing money. And they tell you, New York tells you, put your money in the market. Of course, you know why? Because they're the market. They run it. You wake up, you go to work, you put your time in, you come home, you get your paycheck, you look and go, oh, I put some money into my 401k. That money, half of it went to the New York bankers. Because I see it all the time. The price will go up, oh, then it'll drop. When it drops, it's them selling shares for their pockets. And it will gradually, over a year, it'll go up about 7% over the year. And then hey, yeah, we made you 7% this year. Congratulations. Just keep putting that money in every week. Daddy needs a new Cadillac. This system was created to rob you twice. Once with your taxes and twice with the money through inflation. Because if you're paying taxes, you lose that money. Then you're like, well, all right, I made 100. They took about 40%, so I got 60. I'm going to save 20. That in a year is only going to be worth 16. Then in 2 years, it's only going to be worth 9. Then in 3 years, it's only going to be worth 7. And yet they tell you, what are you guys bitching about? Just elect us again. We're trying to figure this out. They're not trying to figure out anything. They've got it figured out. Washington, D.C. loves the way this system's working. We're all working our asses off, and they're having their wonderful evenings at a high-end restaurant, rubbing elbows with each other, basically looking, women, forgive me, looking like a circle jerk. Because they're so proud at how well they're representing their constituents. Really? Because they're not doing so hot, guys. I mean, as he explained, in a few years, to heat your house is going to go up 200%.
My oil budget this month, monthly, is $615 a month for my oil budget.
Just for the
Imagine
oil.
that, $615 a month for heating. That's not electric.
All right. When I was 18, I actually bought a house. I paid $34,000 for this house. My monthly house payment was $198 for the house. You're paying $600 for warm air in the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's some damn nice warm air.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And then put on almost a $500 bill for electricity.
Jeez.
A month. So, it's crazy. You're not even talking a $2,400 mortgage on top of that, right?
Yeah.
So it's crazy. What's that? Yeah, and my taxes on my house are almost $7,000. So it's crazy,
You know what's crazy? They say, well, we got to tax carbon. Do you know what you're made of? Carbon. Great point. It's Like, wait a second. Why? Yeah. Yeah. What? Exactly. Oh, I've had arguments in Washington over oil because it's absolutely bullshit that it's old friggin' lizard juice. All right. Anybody that believes that, yeah, we're getting juiced. That's what's happening. Absolutely.
So tell us. So we're talking about money, right? Now we have a $500 bill coming back.
Yes.
And I don't know if people know that, but I think I'm not quite sure the year, but I'm going to guess
Next
it was
year.
probably 64 or 63. I was a young boy. I was 3 in 63, so I'll tell you how old I am. But I remember because my father owned a gas station, and as we got a little older, we used to be able to count the money. He would let us count the change and everything. And I remember seeing a $500 bill when I was young, and they used to have a $1,000 bill. And so they got rid of those. But now the $500 bill is coming back. But there's a reason for that. Because that $100 bill over there
ain't gonna cut it.
is losing so much value. So they're going to make you feel like you got more money in your pocket because you got a $500 bill, but it's not.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard this. America no longer makes any pennies.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, they're getting rid of the pennies. Then they'll get rid of the nickels. Then they'll get rid of the dimes. Then they'll get rid of the quarters and just go, we're just going to round up to the dollar. This happened, all right, just like you said, we used to have a $500 bill. I held one when I was younger. The reason they got rid of that is because the early 80s, they jacked up the interest rate and they drug in and they controlled inflation after the 70s. Those of you who were around in the 1970s, early 80s, inflation was out of control.
Yeah, it was.
Well, once they reined that in with high interest rates, they're like, all right, we're going to bring in all of the $500 bills and the $1,000 bills. We don't need them anymore because the $100 bill will suffice because that 100 will be strong. As soon as they announce we're going to issue a $500 bill, you know you are going into an inflation phase because that's what they did in the late 60s and early 70s. We're going to have $500 bills and $1,000 bills. Ed gave me a present when I was in Las Vegas, I think.
No, it was actually here, but that's okay.
Oh, it's here?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
and before you go, we have to give Maddie, who we love here.
Maddie.
And Maddie's the one who really where it came from that I bequeath to you.
Yes. I am officially a trillionaire. I have a $1 trillion bill from Zimbabwe.
It's actually, can I hate interrupting you.
No, go ahead.
It's a $10 billion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Zimbabwe note. $10 billion.
I apologize.
And it's real currency.
Yeah. I was bragging. I'm not a trillionaire. I'm only a 10 billionaire. And it's one single bill.
Yep.
About a nickel. And that's just for what you can sell it for. Yeah. But everyone laughs at that. But in 1993, they had a $1 bill, they had a $5 bill, they had a $10 bill, a $100 bill, and a $500 bill. By 1999, they had a $1 billion bill. And what was the first one that they printed after the 100? The 500. Then 1,000. Then 100,000. Or no, then 10,000, then 100,000, then half a million, then a million, and it just went up. They just added zeros. Right, no value. That's what we're at the beginning of. Whenever they announce, hey, we're going to roll out a $500 bill, you think that there's more pressing issues if it's just about a new piece of paper? No. They're doing it because they know they're going into an inflationary period. When you're $38 trillion in debt, let's put it this way. According to the scientist, 37 trillion seconds ago, the earth wasn't here. Not dinosaurs. The earth wasn't here yet. Does it sound like we're going to be paying that shit off anytime soon? No. So what are they going to do? They're going to inflate the value. So, yeah.
What are your thoughts on? Do you think they'll go with central bank digital currency and get rid of the paper money altogether?
Not while Trump's in office, no. Because I can tell you now, Trump's goal is to replace the Federal Reserve and roll it into the Treasury where it belongs. Yep. Yo, God, yeah. Now, let's hope he doesn't wind up like the last person that tried to do that, which was JFK. Which I hate to laugh about that, but you got to laugh or you're crying. I mean, we on the right, we are live and let live people. You know, it's like, don't bother me, I won't bother you. If you want to wear a dress, go ahead. No one cares. But if you talk to my kid, I'm going to slap this shit out of you. You know, just move along. The people on the left are not like that. They have to have us change how we are. They can't just let us exist, because us existing shows a lot of them what they're not. And they hate to look at a husband and a wife and kids all happy going down the road or going to the park or something, like a happy average family. You get the wrong lefties out, they look at that and they're like, well, their kids are probably trans and just hiding it. That woman hates her husband. She's probably a secret, feminist too, and he probably beats her. Because the left always looks for the worst. And if it ain't there, they'll fucking lie about it. Because that's how the left has always been. They can't win you over with ideas, so they try to beat you down with guilt of shit you shouldn't be guilty of. You shouldn't feel guilty that you and your wife have a nice little house and you have some kids and maybe a couple grandkids and they swing over around Christmas. They look at that and they see, oh, God, look at them white people. Or look at those conservatives. Or look at those Christians. Oh, yeah, exactly. But we're not like that. We don't run down the road looking for something wrong. What I've learned about left and right people who are on the right, the majority of them are optimists. They look at the world and say, we can do better, guys. And the majority of them are workaholics. There's something about people on the right. They like to work. They like an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. It's a good agreement. You shake hands. You go home. You hang out with the wife and kids. You wake up and do it again. And hell, nowadays, you and your wife got to wake up. She's got to go off to work. You got to go off to work. Hope the kids are okay. And everyone's working to work instead of living their lives. And that system that was created, that was the goal of the system. Those who watch my show, I've said this 1,000 times. If your wife or your husband or your girlfriend goes out and goes shopping and they bring home a grocery, or they actually bring home groceries, they have some meat, they got some noodles, they got a little red sauce, they got some tomatoes, a little bit of garlic, and cheese. You can look at it and go, we're probably having pasta. Well, when I look at Washington, D.C., and I see the accumulations of little laws and little regulations, they just kind of slip it into a bill. When you see what they've accumulated this into is a machine that brings all of the wealth into Washington, D.C., and holds it there. There's a reason that Washington, D.C. is as rich and as beautiful as it is, while you have, I don't know, someplace like friggin' Detroit that's gone to hell in a handbasket. And I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. We got wrecked. We were a union town. We had Chrysler, we had Ford, we had we had all of these plants. And then around 1998, 1999, 2000, they're closing the Chrysler. When they closed all of these plants, there were thousands of people who were like, the hell am I going to do? They didn't care because they went over to China or Japan or Mexico, and they're like, yeah, we can build these cars cheaper.
That hid the sin of inflation, right?
Yeah. Oh, it still got pricey because just because it was cheaper to produce doesn't mean they charged you less. Never forget that. Never let a corporation tell you, well, if we go there, it'll cost less. Mm-hmm. I've never seen a year where the price of a car went down. Ever. And it won't. We live in a system of lies, and we've been so friggin' swamped with work and raising children and going to church and helping our local community that we haven't seen the long line hose that is hooked into every one of our arms and leads right to Dracula in Washington, D.C. They're all vampires, some of them literally.
Whole other
yeah.
Whole other show.
But I'll leave that aside for now. But they suck the economic power out of every one of us every week. I mean, and I'm not ashamed to say this. Last year, I think I paid almost $600,000 just in federal taxes. Yeah. And now I'm not hurting, but I look at that. All right, if I made this much and they took this much, that means if someone who made 100,000, they probably took about 32% of what they made. If you make $100,000 and they take $32,000 of it, that means every week you actually work Monday and half of Tuesday, almost into Wednesday for the government. I don't know about you, but that sounds a whole hell of a lot like slavery. Well, I'm only a slave on Monday and half of Tuesday. The rest I'm good. Well, thanks, guys. And that's why we need to elect and help. And that's why I live in an RV. Because until we get this right, I'm hitting every club over and over again. I'm hitting Washington, D.C. I will never go back to New York. Sorry, New York. But until you guys get your shit together, New York can kiss my ass. I have wealthy friends. And what's sad? They're all applauding like, yeah, we got a socialist. Like they've never read a fucking book before. It's like, you guys realize that like all the people that were killed in like the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, that was socialists. That was democratic socialists who killed all these people. No, we'll do it right. Well, if that was wrong and you're going to do it right, how many son of a bitches are you guys going to kill? Are you going to double their number just to show them hold my beer? Oh, you think you can kill some people? Wait till we get a hold of New York. Oh, don't get me started on that. I watched, this is how exciting my life is. I watched an 1.5-hour documentary on yes, but what's that? Eugenics. Thank you. God. All right.
That's why Heidi travels with Ben.
Yes. Whenever my brain falls out my ear, she dusts it off, runs it under some water, and throws it back in there. There's eugenics is the science of learning how to kill people nicely. That's exactly. Well, not only abortion, and exactly like you said, Mr. Bill Gates, who was his father, the CEO of Planned Parenthood. Oh, she wrote love letters to Hitler. Oh yeah, but if that's one of these days, I'm going to retire and I'm going to go around and I'm going to make my money on history. What do you call it? Trivia. I love history because once you know the real history, all of this makes sense. You're like, oh, you guys were originally communists. Then you went into the London School of Economics. Then you created a little group that you called the Fabian Socialist. Then you left there and you infiltrated the U.S. with your progressive movement. And now we all have retarded children who graduate from college and don't know jack shit about jack shit.
They don't teach history anymore.
No, it really, I love my youngest. I love her to death. She's dumb as a brick because I sent her to college. Well, she wanted to go. This was around last, I think it was Christmas or Thanksgiving. We were having a conversation. I remember it was Thanksgiving on the origins of Thanksgiving. And I was explaining how the Pilgrims, I was explaining the real history. And I said the word, what did I say? I think I said, yeah, once they got off of the Mayflower, and I was explaining it, and my daughter looked at me and went, "What's a Mayflower?" And I go, "What?" She goes, "What's a Mayflower? Does it grow in May?" And I looked at my wife and then I go, "We have failed. We have absolutely fucking failed. You don't know what," and I explained it's a ship that the Pilgrims, Plymouth Rock. And she didn't know what Plymouth Rock was. Well, thank your ancestors. They're good people. And this is just me. Watch a documentary on the first Pilgrims. And I'm talking the Puritans. These were some tough some bitches, boy. You think you got it bad? They didn't have hot air tomorrow. All right. These guys were like, hope those Indians kind of slide us a little shit over here because things are going rough. We lost about half our people.
Yeah.
But that's what America was built on. We love challenges. Hard work is hard work. Work is the source of pride. Because if you go out and you work your ass off, when I was younger, I was a union carpenter. I loved doing it because I would actually build a house. And how I looked at it was, how many Christmases? I helped there's going to be memories that are made in this house. There's someone in 30 years are going to drive right past this house and go, I grew up there. Hard work makes you feel good, and it leaves your mark on the world. Because if you work hard and you actually do things right, at the end of your life, you don't have regrets. You have a damn good view. Because you look back on your life, you look at your wife, your kids, whoever else, your friends, your family, and you go, all right, well, I'll meet you on the other side. And you do it with pride. And your family's there and they're crying, but they're proud of you. It's like, all right, you made it. Oh, I don't want to cry, but I'm going to tell the story anyway because it's so damn good. Now that I got one. I got my own Kleenex. I have a very close friend. Some of you may have watched him on my show. His name is Patrick. Super nice guy. He recently lost his brother. And these guys were tight. I mean, this was brothers of brothers, like they were tight. And I went to his funeral. And it was the most amazing funeral I'd ever seen in my life. Everyone was, now mind you, there were some women crying, but all in all, it was a joyful event. I was amazed. I was like, these people They are literally celebrating this man's life. And I mean, everyone's sitting there talking about, oh yeah, last year we went hunting with him, and oh yeah, we shot this or we caught that. Everyone just telling about the good times. And I thought to myself, that's a rich man. That's what we all should want. Exactly. I've always said, I'm not in it for the money. I want a big funeral. I want them to shut down fucking highways for me. Where there's so many son of a bitches, they're like, we got to close the road down. Fucking that Bitcoin guy died. Damn it. No, I'm going to keep you guys here all night. All right, go ahead.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Well, Ben, gosh,
that asshole.
No. You almost got me, going where you go, because I'm just as much of a baby as you are. But we're gonna wrap things up. We really enjoyed this time with you folks. We really appreciate everybody who showed up, and we want to continue these meetings here. We want to grow this grassroots of not only Bitcoin, but the work that we need to do in this community. We need to bring people together. There doesn't have to be division. There can be common sense. I mean, imagine that. Common sense. We all have the same goal. I loved what John Deaton said. Your neighbor wants to go on vacation. Your neighbor wants to be able to buy groceries, right? We all have this common goal. So we just need to figure it out.
Yep.
Just like the old days. I miss the old days. Everybody reads those things online. We didn't get home until the street lights went on. Those are the days that I grew up in. My grandkids, I don't think will ever see that. And that's really sad.
Yeah.
That's really sad. So look at Ben, I love you, brother. And I really thank everybody who showed up here tonight. We're still going to hang. We can still hang.
Yeah.
And, but we're going to shut down our stream.
Yep, we got food back in the back.
Yeah,
You're hungry.
and we want to thank everybody out who took the time to watch our stream tonight.
Yep.
We appreciate you. Spread the word out there. Forward this stream on to people to see, so we can keep it growing.
Yeah, exactly. Like and share what you're watching on whatever platform you're watching, so we can get out this show about freedom, love, and returning the republic to the way it was founded.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks.
Your Bitcoin's sitting idle. Time to make it work. Private Key Capital, the world's first fully Bitcoin-backed financial institution, lets you earn 4% APY on your Bitcoin. Enjoy Bitcoin savings accounts, secure custody, Bitcoin-backed loans, fiat on-off ramps, and exclusive member benefits. This is crypto banking reimagined. Early members get the best rates. Join Private Key Capital today and start earning 4%.